Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Jewel. It's been a minute since I was here last time because I've been pretty ill. So I finally finished the Cinderella book that we've been working on. We've done a series on Little Golden books, and this is the final flip through. And it's been a slow process. I've been in here very little in my room to work on it. And I'm on the road to recovery, and it's going to be quite a recovery. So I'll be doing a little bit each day as I can. So I wanted to do a flip through of this, and if you've missed any of the Little Golden Book series, I'm in the process of working on 9 of them, and this is the first completed one. And I kind of have put the other ones aside for a bit till I feel a little bit better. So we're just going to do the flip through, and I think you saw me sew in the signatures. I actually added a third signature. You can see we've got buttons on the spine. We did the trim together. I think I showed you the book plate covers. Not the book plate, the corner covers. And this is a vintage reader's, or vintage Little Golden book. And when we pop in, I'll tell you, I think it's the early 50s. And this is Cinderella, and I did add some lace and some trims to it because it was Cinderella. We also have some trim down the back in the metal corner protectors. I hand-dyed the seam binding in a pale pink color because there's pink throughout the book, and just did a seam binding tie, and there's metal eyelets on each side. So let's go in. Okay. And I had only sewn in 2 signatures with you guys. I ended up adding a third signature in the middle because I didn't like the amount of space. And it's simply a writing. It's all for writing. There's only a couple pockets in it, and I'll show you that when we get to it. I did do a library card here. I will put the date of the book here. And this just says Imagine. It has some trims and some fabric fabric ribbon that I made, and that's throughout the book, and it coordinates with all the designer papers, and I've kept the vintage theme throughout the book. So we have trim here. I did not count the number of pages, so that will be in the subscription, or in the description box. We have a cute little tag here, a little girl, vintage, and this is a little flip out book, and we did that together, so if you missed that. And so I made a tuck out of this, and a sweet little image of a mom and a little girl. Her baby, and I did one of my faux stick pin dangles. These are all crystals, real crystals, and if you've seen any of my other videos, you know I like to put these on the lace and on the trims on the edges of the pages often. So this is in the green tones, and it's like a borealis crystal. A couple of them are borealis crystals. I've got some fabric ribbon here, and I left a lot of the strings, and you can cut those off where I've sewn. We've got a pretty pocket here with some lace. There's stenciling throughout the book. This is just some of that soft eyelash trim and some hand-dyed seam binding on that tag. Here's the front page. We have some lace here. In 23rd printing. Actually 1973. So it's not as old as I thought. I'm doing several that are dated in the 50s. One of them's even in the late 40s. So, and I left the pages in order, and we've got stenciling. There's washi tape for interest throughout. Here's some washi here, some stenciling here. Made a little pocket out of a doily here. and this cute little, another one of these vintage images. And this is just a little journaling card or booklet. This can be flipped to write on. There's spots here, and you can see my, this is coffee and tea stain paper throughout. So we have some crocheted trim here, the book pages. This is printed vellum, little ice cream cones on it, and here's some coordinating beautiful lace. So you'll see there's lace there between the lace and the fabric ribbons throughout the book. So those are on the edges of some of the pages. We've got a little button with a ball pin here on this ribbon trim, some music paper, a glassine bag with some stenciling, and one of my little index card pockets that I did a little tutorial on. And this is so you can just tuck things right down in there, and it's like a little window pocket. So that's just tucked right in here. Some dyed paper. It's got some of the pink tones, some washi, another book page, the original Cinderella book page, some vintage graph paper, a dyed, coffee dyed or tea dyed stained doily, writing paper, says jot that down. Got some stenciling here, Cinderella, getting ready for the ball, going in her pumpkin. This is a little double tuck with this cute, I want to see if it was a flip, no. This pretty vintage, well, antique replication image. I've got some little ephemera tucked in here, and this sweet little photograph of a mom and I guess her son in an old car. Some more trim here. This is the middle of the first signature. I did do buttons in the middle of the signature, and they have little flowers on them. So there's 2 buttons there, trim here, and 2 sweet journaling tags here of the vintage images. So those are in the middle of the first signature. The book lays nice, oh, I forgot to, you know what, as we go through, I number my pages to keep them in order. I forgot to erase some of them, so I need to go through the book. I'll do that after and make sure I erase. I thought I got them all, but not that one. Got some lace here. We've got a cute little tag tuck here. There's some washi here for interest. So this is a cute little image I made. It was a tag and I made it into a pocket with a tuck. So this is a little flash card. I think that's a Tim Holtz, says dog. And a little piece of ephemera just tucked in there. And we have another pretty image here, a journaling card. So there's plenty of room to write in this book. Then I also went and got a vintage book of children's stories, and I got that through eBay, and there's the whole other story of Cinderella written out in print through here. So this is one of those old book pages here, and we've got some lace here. This is just one of my collaged envelopes, so if you missed the last one, I'll show it to you. This coordinates with the book, so I just pulled it out of my stash. And here's the back side, and it's just an envelope, so you can use it for, you know, to put your, you know, notes in or whatever, and it has a little fabric on there. And I just have that tucked right here with a little Tim Holtz mini clip there. The doily, some graph paper. This is a fabric flip here with some trim at the top. So that's nice for a secret little writing spot there. The other part of that glassine bag, music paper, the printed vellum. Most of these images I got from the Graphics Fairy. Cinderella again, and then another tuck here with some stenciling in the back, as you can see, and everything's been inked in this book. I did distress the book to keep the vintage look. We have a little yo-yo paper clip that I made, the little yo-yos with a button in the middle, and you can move this through the book in this sweet image of children playing music. I made it into a tag. So that's just tucked in there. Lace here. There's a lot of decorative sewing in this book as well. Okay, here we have a flip up for writing space with this sweet little image, and another vintage photograph of this sweet family, mom with her children. So that's tucked in there, and you can just journal right on the back of that. I've got a little pocket out of this little image here, this little, I think it's a little boy with his riding hat. And this is a copy of, out of one of my antique magazines of Ivory Adventures. It says, "Wee legs and arms were quite exposed." So they're kids playing races, and it's from Ivory Snow. So I just put that in there for a journaling spot, and this little cat tag that I made. It's like a vintage, you know, learning or, you know, card for school. And we've got another pocket here. Now this is the middle of the signature that the middle signature that I added, and it's strictly mostly just writing paper. I did do a pocket there, and I did a pocket here with another tag with some of that soft, super soft eyelash trim, and seam binding, and there's coffee and tea stain paper throughout. And then here's some writing paper. Here's the middle of that signature for you to do whatever you want on it. And I love how the book lays. The book lays super nice and flat. We've got a pocket here with this cute, sweet little image of a little girl, and I think she's got her mommy's shoes on. And I did some ribbon trim at the top. So that's in there. Then the last signature, we've got a ball pin with a button on the end of hanging on the trim. And, this pretty paper. I tried to choose coordinating papers that went with everything. And you can see I brought the fabric on the inside. So you can see the fabric, everything coordinates. On this flip, or on this page, we have some stenciling and another journaling card. In this pocket, I did some scalloped edging here, and then coordinated the lace accordingly to the scalloped edge. And then we have some trim here, more Cinderella paper. Whoops, got a little stick there. This is super old yellow tablet. I got this from my dad. He used to work in the school system as a superintendent, and he would bring home some of these yellow tablets way back in the day. I'm talking, this is probably 40 years old, this paper. And we would do our studies on it. We would use that for our scratch paper at home. Okay, we've got an old graph sheet, some more printed vellum, these pretty little flowers on it, Cinderella at the ball. You can see I've got trim on all the pages, music paper, some dyed paper with like green splotches, some stenciling here, some more of that dyed paper. We've got cotton crochet trim here. This paper says jot that down. Got some more tea-dyed. This is tea-dyed paper here. This is old graph paper that's actually been tea-dyed. We've got a paper bag here with some stenciling for you to store goodies in. Got some trim here. And this is the designer paper with the trim on it, and this is the middle of the last signature, and I did the same thing as the very first signature where I added the little buttons that have the flowers on them in the middle on the strings. We have trim here, and we have 2 tags with fabric ribbons, and we've got stenciling in behind both. Okay, but you can still write over all of that stenciling. It's very light. I did it in tea. If you missed the last videos, a lot of the inking in here was done in the Distress Ink tea dye color. Okay, so there's this image as well on this tag. And you can see I did the decorative stitching around the edges of the pages. And then I made a little, if you missed the last one, this cute little button card says romper set. And I sewed on the buttons. It's got a little dog there. And I made it into a tuck spot for this cute little, cat, vintage cat image. And I think I got this from Cavallini and Company. Let me tell you. They have some neat, let me see. Well, I cut it out. It was on a big wrapping paper at Cavallini and Company, yeah. So that's tucked in there. So that's a nice big journaling tag, and it's backed on craft cardstock. So here's another old book page of Cinderella here. The other part of the bag with some stenciling, graph paper, some washi for interest. You can see there's a lot of writing room in here, but there's also plenty of tuck spots. And here's some of the trim. You can see I did decorative stitching on the trim, the fabric cutoffs. This is just a flip out that I made with a little Velcro. I think we did this together. And actually, this is also a tuck spot. So, let me see what I have. I'm looking to tuck something in there. This is cute. I think she's somewhere else in the book. We can tuck her. And I'll put this cute little dog flashcard in there. And so this just Velcros and you can write on it. And this is not a tuck at the top. So there's plenty of writing room here. So let's move on. More old Cinderella book page here. Another fabric flip with some pretty lace at the top. Oh, somebody's walking by. Sorry about that, guys. Hey, hush. And we got some music paper. This is part of that Cinderella story. And it's from Fairy Tales Old and New. And here's actually an illustration from that vintage book. So that would be fun to color. So that's in there. Some printed vellum. We've got some pretty washi up here on this old graph paper. And another doily, the old yellow notebook paper. And the end of the Cinderella story. There she goes to happily ever afterland. And we've got a pocket here with a journaling tag and some pretty stenciling up there. All done in that tea stain. And I made a, let me see, is this a flip? No, this is just, wait a minute. No, wait. Oh, okay. This is actually a pocket. Oh, I gotta put something in that. A pocket here, a tuck spot here, and a pocket back here. So I'll find something to put in there. So we've got 3 places to tuck. And here's the back of the book. And that's it. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this series. And when I finish the other little golden books, I will come back and do flip throughs of those. They're going to be different than this because I probably won't be doing lace on a lot of them because they're more masculine. And, you know, there's ABCs over there. There's, let me see, the Tale of Peter Rabbit. Oh, there's a bunch. So anyways, I'll say goodbye for now, and thanks for being patient as I finish the series. All right, have a blessed day. Bye-bye.